Morning light cuts across Peleliu on September 18, 1944. It is just past 7:30. A young soldier named Arthur Jackson lies low behind rough coral. 19 years old, he feels the stone bite into his arms. Stale smoke hangs close, mixed with wet earth and something metallic. His breath comes slow, uneven. Around him, silence breaks only by distant echoes. Heat builds fast under a cloudless sky. Shells have torn up the ground like plowed fields. Not far away, twisted metal glints in patches of sun. To his left, bullets chew through his squad one by one. 3 days, that's how long Jackson has been stuck here. Not a single enemy downed yet. At this moment, survival feels like a coin toss. Curved tight across the south edge of land, 12 solid bunkers hold every inch under watch. Built not merely for shelter, these structures showcase clever defense design. Inside each, you might find anywhere from half a dozen up to more than 30 fighters waiting. Fresh off the boats 3 days back, the 1st Marine Division thought it would be over fast. Not what they got. A promise came from Major General William Rupertus. 4 days, he said. That number fell apart fast. Way off. 70 days too soon, plus bodies piling up like stone. The first morning soaked that pale beach red, almost 1,300 gone before lunch. A shift came when the enemy rewrote the rules. Not Kunio Nakagawa, their leader, shut down the old tactics. Suicidal attacks vanished overnight. His order stopped the bonsai runs cold. In place of chaos, he shaped something harder to break. Deep inside rock walls, 10,000 soldiers took position. Hollows in stone, hidden pits, thick bunkers became their homes. Tunnels snaked beneath them, stretching half a football field forward and back. They did not plan fancy moves. Instead they made the Americans pay heavily just to gain ground on the island's rough terrain. On September 18, when daylight came, nearly all members of the 1st Marine Regiment could no longer fight. Most had fallen during brutal clashes across jagged coral patches. At that point responsibility shifted, the task moved to the 7th Marines, led by Jackson. Their mission? Push forward along a narrow path toward an airstrip far ahead. Yet something stood in their way, solid barriers built from thick concrete slabs blocking any advance. Geometry caused trouble. Since each pillbox covered the others, moving on one meant drawing fire from nearby ones at your sides. Nothing worked for the Marines. Sloped walls sent grenades sliding away instead of exploding. Bullets cracked off the pavement nearby. Charging the openings ended with corpses piling near where the shots came from. That morning, Jackson's group advanced 200 yards until metal blocked their way. Right in the middle stood a heavy bunker controlling every angle. Going ahead was impossible. Pulling back offered no chance either. 3 soldiers lay lifeless on open ground after attempting to circle around. When fighting usual wars, tanks roll out. Not here. Ridges rose like walls, paths squeezed shut. Artillery support? Out of reach. Troops clung near the front lines, any shell blast might wipe friend and foe alike. Math turned cruel. One man needed to sprint across 150 yards bare dirt, no shelter anywhere, hit the bunker straight on, then tear it apart up close. Bullets spat from Type 92 heavy machine guns held by Japanese soldiers, each round fired in rapid bursts, 450 every minute. 15 feet covered with each passing second when a soldier ran weighted down by gear. 10 full seconds spent out in the open, nothing shielding him. 75 rounds could tear through that narrow path in just 1/10 of a minute from only one weapon. 2 such weapons were dug into that concrete shelter. Survival? Not possible. Officers stood aware of the truth. So did the non-commissioned leaders who led squads day after day. Arthur Jackson carried that knowledge too. He understood exactly what waited ahead. Stillness felt like surrender to Jackson, so he moved. Sunlight climbed higher, heat pushing past 100 degrees. A decision took shape then, no fanfare, only steps. Up on the ridge again. A teenager, just 19, doing what odds say can't be done, watching him feels like cheating chance itself. That like button down there? Click it if you care whether tales like this one stick around. Jackson yanked out the old mag, slapped in a new 20-rounder, cold steel sliding home. Grenades followed, crammed into every pocket, grabbed from whoever had extras or didn't notice. Then came the stand. On his feet. No one gave him a go-ahead. Without telling his squad leader either. Off he went anyway. That bar is heavy, 19 pounds. Held sideways, tucked by his waist, moving fast toward daylight. Enemy eyes locked on right away. Guns on tripods turned toward him. Rounds ripped through air, smashing reef rock near his boots, sending jagged pieces flying. Jackson stood still. Firing without pause, the weapon barked loud, hurling heavy bullets again and again. Precision meant nothing now. What mattered was sheer number of shots. A burst of fire made the enemy crew flinch, just briefly. One breath, that's what it took. 100 yards. 80 left to go. Then, click, the magazine empty. Ducking behind a chunk of coral rock, chest pounding hard enough to crack bone, he jammed in another clip. Off again before the dust settled. 40 now. 20. There it was, the dead zone. Shoulder scraping cold concrete, so close the opening loomed just beside him. Inside, enemy soldiers caught every breath through the thick air. Their barrels stuck fast. Could not turn them toward the sound. Out of nowhere, Jackson produced something unusual. A canister marked white phosphorus. That stuff ignites at 5,000 degrees. Not merely fire, total destruction follows. With one motion, he yanked the pin loose. Then forced the grenade into the narrow opening. From inside, shrieks burst loud and sudden. Thick fumes began spilling into the air. Out the rear they came, clothes on fire, bullets popping near their belts. He dropped each one with the bar. 35 still remained inside that building. White smoke did nothing. A signal went to another Marine who'd crept close, hauling a sack loaded with 40 pounds of C2. Lit the fuse, 30 seconds long, then pushed the whole thing through the opening before throwing himself into an old bomb hole. The blast shook the ground like thunder from below. A huge concrete roof tore free from where it had been anchored. Pieces of wood, rubble, and people shot upward, flung high like scraps in a storm. Jackson hit the ground hard, thrown by the blast wave without warning. After silence returned and the haze cleared, nothing remained of the bunker, just open earth. 35 enemy troops lay lifeless beneath the wreckage. He rose slowly, unsteady on his feet. A sharp ring pierced both ears. Tremors ran through his fingers. Eyes lifting skyward, he counted 11 untouched bunkers ahead. Something inside pushed him forward, though every reason said stop. The task was finished. Yet Arthur Jackson moved without thinking now. A fresh clip snapped into place. His feet carried him ahead, aimed at bunker number 2. Surprise had slipped away. Every soldier along the Japanese front understood they were being hunted by an American. Moving slow, Jackson turned the land to his advantage, much like a wild animal might. Through sharp-edged coral passages he crept, circling wide toward the rear of the next bunker. From within, the enemy hurled grenades without aim, tossing them over the barrier into empty air. 4, 3, 2, 1, he held his breath, expecting fire. Then quiet. Just wind scraping past concrete. The wall stood ahead. No more white phosphorus left. A thought surfaced: vents. Tiny openings. 4 inches wide. Built to bleed out gunfire haze. He climbed. Roof under palms. Dust stuck to sweat. Firing straight through the metal grate, he emptied the entire clip into the shadowy gap. Bullets bounced off the walls of the tight concrete space, zipping and stinging like trapped wasps. Everything went still after that. 2 enemies fell. From the start, Bunker 3 had its back to Number 4, each guarding the other. Hit one, the second would cut you down. Jackson spotted it, a slim opening, 8 feet wide, where their gunfire didn't reach. Off he went, running hard, shouldered the bar into the crack of the third, fired blind. Then spun, lobbed his final fragmentation charge through the mouth of the fourth. 2 more forts followed the same path. 55 bodies left inside. All done before 20 minutes passed. Smoke curled from the barrel's heat, scorching his palm where it gripped the wood. Grenades gone. Explosives used up. Then, through drifting smoke, a shape, his platoon advancing. Stillness snapped like a dry twig. Out there among the bodies, he grabbed grenades off still forms in faded uniforms. From a Marine who did not get up, he took an M1 Garand, pulled out each round carefully, then fed them into his own bar mags, piece by piece. Doing what needed doing without a plan already set. When he reached the 5th bunker, things went wrong. Just as Jackson shifted to scale the top, movement, fast, a figure leapt from hidden cover close behind, steel on rifle tip aimed straight at his back. Spinning fast, Jackson shot without aiming. Bullets hit the charging soldier full force, sending him crashing into his own dark passage. Without pause, he dumped every round into that opening, ending those who waited below. Yet from a ridge above, Colonel Nakagawa saw it unfold. A single enemy tore through his southern defenses like tearing paper. His voice cut the air, "Push forward at once." Out of the underground passages came 40 new enemy troops. Silent. Moving like trained hunters aiming to surround the isolated soldier. With Jackson now stood a tight group of 3 fellow Marines who'd advanced to reach him. 10 enemies faced each defender. Gunfire cracked without order. He rested the heavy rifle on a chunk of reef stone, releasing short measured shots. Click click click. Every round counted. Into the smoke came the Japanese soldiers, pushing back the few Americans left standing. Hope seemed gone. Yet Jackson's furious fight had stretched seconds into survival. Through the opening he tore, the 7th Marines sent 3 full platoon units forward. At the peak of their charge, just as enemy forces reached high ground, they met a wall, 40 rifles already waiting. Bullets struck from both sides, cutting deep. 3 minutes. That is how long it took to erase the Japanese reserve unit. Backup arrived for Jackson next. Ammunition came too. Ahead of him sat the target, the triangle. It stood as the biggest holdout left. Out front, Jackson ran point with 12 soldiers behind. Straight into the middle fort he went alone. 60 more yards of flat land passed under his boots while rounds snapped at his clothes. Reaching the outer wall, he tossed in a grenade before hoisting up onto the roof, then fired non-stop through an air shaft. Just as he shifted toward the next spot, 1 round struck true. A sharp force ripped into his leg. Red spread fast across the fabric of his work pants. Though agony flashed white behind his eyes, raw energy kept him upright. Someone in uniform reached to pull him toward safety. He shoved the figure aside without looking. "Not done yet," came his reply. 1 step at a time, he made it close to Bunker 12. That spot on the rise above the shore had taken too many lives already, 3 full days of it. Running was impossible now. His leg refused, yet forward he went, with flamethrower man beside him. 40 yards out, that's how far they reached. Then he opened up, bullets flying thick and fast, pinning the enemy behind their guns. A burst of fire surged forward when the soldier opened the valve. By 9:33, every weapon had gone quiet. 12 pillboxes lay wrecked after an hour and a half, thanks to Arthur Jackson's aim. 50 enemy soldiers fell under his fire that day on Peleliu. The southern defenses cracked wide open. One man made it happen. Recognition came straight from President Harry Truman, medal in hand. Hero status followed, quiet but certain, across headlines nationwide. Yet time did not stop in 1945. Conflict trails behind like smoke after gunfire. After years of service, Jackson wore the title of captain. By 1961, amid icy tensions between nations, his post sat on Cuban soil at Guantanamo Bay. Danger found him there. That day, Ruben Sabargo, a hidden agent, came close. The veteran who once fought across Peleliu moved without thinking. That night, he stopped the spy, claiming threat, claiming breathless reaction. Politics twisted around the facts like vines on broken stone. Quiet was what the Corps demanded, nothing more. Awards did not follow actions like these. Instead came silence, a dismissal without speeches. 50 lives ended under his aim, met with roaring cheers. Then came a single death, no sound followed. Arthur Jackson reached 92. Delivering mail shaped his days, a calm presence near neighbors, walking slow, honor stored away out of sight. His breath stopped in 2017. Among those who fought at Peleliu, none remained after him. On a jagged reef in 44, 19 and unyielding, he faced down 50. Each fell. He walked away. When memory surfaces of what such peace demands, remember faces, not formations. Share a story below, what brave thing sticks in your mind. Catch you in the following piece.